Hey, this is Russ. Hey, if you saw the last e-bike video I made, you might remember that I talked a little bit about my dilemma of selling bikes, right? Selling the e-bikes, making decisions which bikes get to stay and which bikes get to be sold, and which bikes have to stay. So then I kind of thought about it. I go, hey, you might be wondering, of all the various bikes that have come through my home, which bikes did we keep? Now, I'm not going to mention the bikes that got sold off, but I'm going to mention the bikes that I actually decided to keep. And why? Yeah, I figured that'd be a good video. So stay tuned because we're going to be going through the bikes that I still have in the house. All right. So I made some notes for myself and I printed it up. So if you see me looking down every now and then, it's because I'm looking at the notes. So let me give you some statistics first off. Okay. So how many bikes are still in the house? And the total is 17. Yeah, there's 17 bikes still in my home and one scooter. Okay. So how many bikes were sold? 28. 28 were sold and one scooter was sold. Okay. And how many bikes have I rejected? Yeah, people always want to know that. Well, I don't know the actual number of bikes because some of these companies have offered multiple bikes and I've rejected them multiple times. Okay, when I say rejected, it means that I didn't even answer back to them, okay? So what I did, I started keeping count of which companies have actually offered a bike for me to do as a review. And based on the rejected companies, I have 151 companies I have actually turned down. Now, I'm not talking about bikes. If I talked about bikes, it would be higher than that. But the actual companies, 151 companies, that's a lot of companies. This is why I said, the e-bike area is kind of flooded with e-bike companies because, you can contact a company and say, hey, I want to create an e-bike company, and what will happen is these manufacturers in China will actually make it for you if you buy a certain quantity, and you can become an e-bike company, right? So 151 of those companies I have not responded to. Okay. So let's go through the bikes that are still here and why. All right. So Jaguarundis from Magicycle. So the Magicycle Jaguarundi, we mentioned this on the last video. There's two of those bikes. Okay, these are the 52-volt bikes. And I mentioned the reason they're still here is because they are folding bikes and they fit inside our SUV. So if we go on any trips, I have the ability to take folding bikes with me and leaving them in the car, okay? Plus, if I decide to put them on a rear rack of the car using a e-bike rack, car rack, they're lighter in weight, okay? And I have two batteries for each of those bikes. So the Jaguarundis from Magicycles are still here. The Magicycle Deer 26 is still physically here, okay? Now that one is kind of up for sale at this point, but I'm just going to count them as here because they're physically still here, okay? This is the full suspension 26-inch by 4-inch fat tire Magicycle bike. And the reason this has lasted so long is because it's a full suspension bike, all right? Before I started having other bikes that had full suspension, Magicycles was probably the best one I had up to the point. And so I still have it. So why are you selling it, Russ? I got to make room. That's why. Otherwise, it'd still be here. Yeah, it's a good bike. Himiway Rambler. Yeah, the Rambler is the premium version with the mid-drive motor and the hydraulic brakes. Now, the reason I kept this bike still here, and it's kind of like a commuter-style bike, is because at that time, it was one of the few commuter-style bikes that I had, plus it's a mid-drive. All of the other bikes are hub drive motors, so this was the first mid-drive bike I have, and since it's the only one, I have kept it. I still have it, okay? The Freedare Eden. Yeah, the Freedare Eden actually is a really good bike. I don't know if anyone's ordered any of the Freedare Edens because of me or not, but I'm going to tell you, if you have not, you're missing out. It's actually a really good bike. I actually like it. I actually converted it for fishing. As you might remember, I put my fishing rods and everything in there. There's a fishing rod holder on the back, and I also had a secondary battery for that too, so I could take it and go some distance if I wanted to. Unfortunately, this year, we didn't do as much fishing things as I had hoped. It was just too many things going on, and my fishing friends weren't available here and there, and so next thing you know, that's the end of the season. Maybe next year we'll ride some more of it, but yeah, Freedare Eden. And then there are 2 of the UFree Stellar Falcons available here. So I have the step-through version and the mid-step version. So the step-through version was the black cherry color, kind of looked like really, really dark brown almost. And then there's the red one, and that's the mid-step version. And those are still here because, it was the exciting bike for the season when I first got it. I couldn't ride it. Remember that? I couldn't ride it for a while because I got it late. Basically late in the winter months. I couldn't ride it. I just sat there and stared at it. So they gave us 2 of them, one for me, one for Mrs. Wright. And actually the red one's up for sale if anyone wants it. That's the mid-step version. We kind of decided that there's other bikes Mrs. Wright prefers to ride sometimes. And so since we have so many, she says, just sell one of the Stellar Falcons off. Which I kind of felt bad because I kind of feel like, well, if we both ride it, then it's like you're riding the same thing. And she doesn't care. So we decided to keep the step through and let the mid step go. So if anyone wants that, that's available. The Himiway D7, yeah. Now the D7 is a really big bike. That thing is huge, and the tires aren't even 4 inches. I think they're 4.5s or something like that. Or are they 4.7s? I don't know. They're pretty big. It's a really big fat tire. All right. So it's really designed for, if you're going to do off-roading stuff, that would be the bike to do it with. And I have 2 batteries for that too. Okay. So what else do we have here? I have the Radster Road Large. Okay. This is the Rad Powerbikes bike. Yeah, so basically, here's the thing with Rad Powerbikes. I had an affiliate link for people to use because I had originally purchased a Rad bike. Yeah, I purchased it as my very first bike. I bought the Rad, what was it called? Man, it's so long. I can't remember the name of these things anymore. Well, I had the first Rad bike. And then because I bought the bike, they allow you to have an affiliate link that if you have a friend who wants to buy a bike, if you give it to them, they save $50 and then you get $50 in credit. Well, we had built up so much credit from you guys using that link to buy your Rad bikes to save $50, and we got $50 credit. We had enough money to get several bikes from Rad. Yeah, think about how expensive bikes are. We had enough for several bikes. They stopped that program, of course, and when they stopped it, I asked Rad, can I get a regular affiliate link so that I can continue to offer Rad bikes to my viewers? And they said no. I don't know why, considering how many bikes I helped sell for them, they said no. And actually, they kind of banned me too. They said that I was not allowed to apply again for an affiliate link. I have no idea why. Go figure that out. But that bike was actually purchased with some of the Rad credits, and I still have enough for one more Rad bike. But I haven't made a decision if I want to wait and see what else comes out and then get that bike, and I'll be done with Rad at that point. I don't know what happened to Rad. That could be another story we can talk about. But a lot of things have changed with them, so I have no idea what's going on. I have the Mooncool CG2 Cargo e-bike in here. That's also up for sale. I think I'll be putting that up for sale soon. It's a cargo bike, and I kept it because it is the only cargo bike I currently still have. All right. I've had a total of 3 cargo bikes. I had one from Hauchi Camel. That one got sold recently, and then I had one from KBO. Yeah. So currently there's only 1 cargo bike here. But I know that maybe eventually I might be getting one coming in from Lectric because, I went out to Arizona and we were riding the Expedition 2.0s, and that's a really good cargo bike. If that comes in, I don't need 2 cargo bikes in here. So, yeah, the Mooncool will probably be the one that will be going away. So the Himiway A3. Now, I got this this year. It is a commuter bike. This was the year for commuter bikes, remember? So, it rides really well. It's a very lightweight bike. I like it a lot. And so it remains here with me because of that. The Magicycle CT1, again, another commuter-style bike from Magicycle. And as you know, a lot of the Magicycle bikes I've kept, but I've been letting ones go here and there. because we just don't have enough space anymore. And some of the bikes I've had for a couple of years now, so it's time to let some of them go. So, and then new stuff comes in, right? And it'll be replaced with others. And I've had a really good relationship with Magicycle, as you know. So I am always reluctant to let go of any of the Magicycles that I have. But I still have the CT1 because it came in last year, and it's a good bike. The wired cruiser I still have. Well, that's the fastest bike I have, right? I don't see myself giving up this cruiser for a while. The only way I would give this one up is if Wired were to say to me, hey, we've got a new cruiser version for 2025. We'd like you to have one. I would then, of course, consider moving on the 2024 version. But if that never happens, I will probably just hang on to this wired cruiser. And the reason is because it's a very fast bike. I don't have any bikes that do 40 miles per hour except for this one. My gut feeling, too, is they may eventually crack down on these. So those who have the 40 mile per hour bikes, you might want to hang on to them, right? Because you never know. If there for some reason becomes a crackdown and they say they cannot manufacture bikes that can do this anymore or can be unlocked to do this anymore, yeah, you might have ones that can. I mean, they can't take it away from you. So anyways, that's why Wire Cruiser's still here. And again, this is a bike that came to me because of you guys. You guys contacted the owner of Wired and said, how come you don't give Russ a bike? And so he gave one to me. So the interesting thing with Wired is I don't know whether he considers me really one of his normal people who does reviews for his bikes or not. He doesn't have a whole lot of them. I think there's only 2 or 3 guys that he has ever given a bike to. And I think I'm the 4th guy he's ever given one to. All of these other reviews that you see are not reviews because Wired gave them a bike. These are guys who have bought the bike, okay? So I may be the 4th guy he's ever given one to. And again, I don't know whether he plans to give me any more in the future. I hope he does, okay? Like, for instance, I know that the most recent version of the Wired bike, which has motor in the front and the back, I was never offered one of these, okay? And I think it's okay because I don't think I would actually need one or probably want to even do it. And I think he knows that, okay? So, but my point is this, if they were to replace the cruiser with a new updated version, would I get one? And the answer is, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what my real status is. But there is affiliate links that he gave me to be able to offer to you guys. And that helps me out still too. So in that sense, I am also, I guess, a sponsored guy as well because I have that ability. And the other guys don't. There's really only 4 of us who actually have that. So, all right. So the Lectric XP 3.0. Yeah. Now, this one just came in just before the whole season ended, right? So I've only had a chance to really ride it once or twice. That's it. So it's still here because I want to ride it for next season. And it is probably the most popular e-bike out there. It really is. They sell a lot of these bikes because it's not a very expensive bike and it does perform pretty well for the money. So that's why it's still here. It's a folding bike as well. And it is the extended range version, meaning the battery is a longer range version of the battery. I have the Lectric XP Trike is still here. Yeah. So it's the only trike that I have in-house. The other trike was the Mooncool trike. Remember that? That trike is actually at my sister's home, okay, out in California. That was the one I fell off of. Remember that one? So that stays with her. Okay, technically we still have it. It's just at her house, not at my place. It's out in California. And so I still have the Lectric XP Trike. And again, the same thing. I've only had a chance to ride it once or twice because it came in right at the end of the season. So I will continue to hold on to it because I hope to ride it a couple more times at least, right? The Lectric One. Now, this is a bike I actually requested from Lectric. This is their top-of-the-line bike. It's the belt-driven, the Gates belt drive, and it's a belt-driven bike, and it has automatic transmission. Yeah, it's the Pinion automatic transmission system. So it's a very small bike in comparison to other bikes. So if you look at it right next to any of the other bikes, it looks like the smallest ones that I have. But it really rides well, and I really like the automatic transmission on it. So yeah, I'll be keeping that one for a while. Yeah, unless they update it for some reason. Okay, but again, it's a fairly new bike, so I don't see them upgrading that quickly. But yeah, I really like that bike, so it stays here. And then finally, what's still here is the Magicycle Deer 2.0 of the 20-inch version. Okay, so I had sold off my original Magicycle Deer, and then the 2.0 replaces that. Okay, and so this is the blue bike from Magicycle. Now, this one remains because it's new, and again came in towards the end of the season. So I have only had a chance to ride it maybe twice, maybe something like that, maybe 3 times. I'm not sure. Maybe 3 times I've ridden it. So it remains here because first off, I always like my Magicycle bikes, as you know, and it's got good performance. It's a dual suspension bike, and it's a dual torque sensor / cadence sensor bike. Same thing with the UFree bikes. You have a thing that in the advanced menu that you can change in the UFrees, so you can decide whether you want to use the torque sensor or whether you want to use the cadence sensor. But on the Magicycle, you can do it on the fly. You can be riding in torque sensor and say, I'm tired, I want the cadence sensor to help out, and then just push and hold the middle button, and it switches it to the other sensor style. Yeah. So many of I wouldn't say all, but many of the Magicycle bikes out now, if they're like 2.0 type versions, will have this feature. So it's a big plus for someone who says, I want to have the feel of a torque sensor, but if you're tired out and just say, forget this, I need some additional help, you can switch over to cadence sensor. Now for me, as you know, my preference typically is for cadence sensor because I don't have the strongest leg and knee, as we all know. So it's just easier for me to ride a bike that's a cadence sensor bike. But for those who have good knees and good legs, torque sensor might be something you like because you want to have the whole feel just like a regular bike, but with the help of the torque sensor. So what else is still coming in? I think eventually Lectric is still planning to send me the Expedition 2.0, yeah, and the X Peak 2.0. These are the 2 new bikes that we had a chance to ride when we were out in Arizona, and I believe they're still planning on sending that to me. I just don't know when. All right, and the thing is that when they do have enough to be able to send to customers and also to the reviewers, by the time they send it to me, it'll be in the dead of winter already. We're expecting snow today, and as we know, other places in the Midwest have already gotten a lot of snow this week. So if they offer to send it to me, my question is, do I accept it and let it sit until spring, or do I just say hang on to it and then send it to me in the spring? Because in a sense, this is really what happened with the UFree Stellar Falcons. They sent it to me and I couldn't do a thing with it. All I did was just stared at it while it sat inside my family room for a couple of months. That might happen with the Lectric bikes as well. But if they do send it to me, here's what I would do. I will show you the bike indoors, but we just won't ride it. We already know what it feels like because I rode it out in Arizona. But of course, I can put it through more of its paces if I actually have the bike to ride longer than just that couple hours, So anyways, that's what's still in the house. Like I said, that's 17 bikes still here. And according to my notes, 28 bikes were sold. I don't know if you want me to cover through the sold bikes. I don't think it's worth it. But yeah, a lot of the bikes that came in, because they moved out probably because the bikes were either done with their model years or just needed to move them out because of more bikes coming in. How many bikes can a guy keep in his house? So anyways, that's all I have for you guys today. I just wanted to at least show you what's still physically here as we end 2024's season. And, I stare at them every day. In fact, I'm looking at them right now, right behind the camera. So anyway, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. More e-bike videos to come. Those will happen on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. And then, of course, we have the Russ Talk videos on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And thanks a lot, too, for those who watch those videos, because it's been encouraging. We don't have as many people watching those as we do the e-bike videos, but let me encourage you, if you've never watched the Russ Talks video, it's basically the same thing here, but I'm usually in the car and driving when I'm talking, okay? And one thing, too, that I noticed, that you might notice that the audio quality in the car sounds different than the studio mic. Okay, come on, think about it. Studio mic, it's gonna sound better, right? Your voice is fuller and stuff. And I do filter the car audio, because if I don't, if you run over something in the road, you'll hear a thump, and you don't want that big thump coming through your sound system or through your ears if you have, the AirPods or something on. So I filter out the low frequencies so you don't hear that type of thumping thing that can happen on road noise, okay? So my voice always sounds a little thinner on the Russ Talks videos. That's just a technical explanation why that is. The studio mic, of course, always sounds better. Anyways, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. I'll talk to you guys next time.